Hello everyone, and welcome to a brand new Let's Play of Victoria 2 Pub Demand Mod, the Concept of Europe 2 Gloria, Part 0. Boy, the name just keeps getting longer, doesn't it? Anyway, I have finished the Let's Play of Siam today, and that allows me to upgrade the game to the newly released version 2.0 of the mod. It's actually a big jump, because the last version that I was been playing was, I think, version 1.6, and this is version 2.0. They have been preparing it for quite some time, and it features a ton of changes, both in technologies. It incorporates a number of sub-mods. There are way more events, more factories again, and you know, they just added a whole bunch of stuff that we can discover in the next Let's Play. But as I have a number of thoughts in my head about what nation I would like to play, I decided it would be fair for you guys to be able to decide this about, well, basically what you want to see. The voting goes down in the description. There's a link in the top of it that you can click on and just pass your vote. And what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna just introduce briefly each of the nations that I'm considering, and it's up to you to decide whether or not you want me to play them. You can vote for one or several of the choices. It's truly up to you. So, by the way, from the looks, you can already see that they added a whole new map. They recreated the graphics. So, yeah, it's awesome. So let's start. I'm going to start by South America, where I have two candidates to play. First one is Argentina. Argentina is a very stable, civilized nation. It's 23rd at the beginning of the game. The biggest challenge that Argentina faces is the lack of population. It has really low population, 296,000. So it has a very weak army, very little growth, but what it gets is the possibility to colonize this entire area, and if we are good enough, the economy could be pretty fast and pretty strong, and by even 1850s, I think we might earn the title of secondary power, at which we might try to snatch the Falkland Islands. I don't know what this area is called, but we might also go for Tahiti and some of these islands like Easter Island. I don't know what this is. And maybe even then try to get as close to Australia as possible, or maybe even invade parts of Africa. So that would be the first candidate. Again, as I mentioned, the biggest problem will be its lack of population, the demand on budget, and the fact that Portuguese Empire of Brazil is right above us. Plus, we have the Spanish South America here, so it might really be hard to start it properly. So that's the candidate number one. Candidate number two is Chile. Chile is exactly the same as Argentina. It doesn't get to colonize as easily as Argentina, but it has less population and is generally just much harder than Argentina. On the good side of Chile, they are starting with, I think, coal and iron, so they can start their economy much faster than Argentina can, which is, at least in the beginning, mostly about cattle, wool, and stuff like that. So, yeah, Chile is candidate number two. Pretty much the same goes for Chile as Argentina. Yeah. Candidate number three is my favorite nation, and that is Sweden. Sweden is actually a really easy nation to play. It has no natural enemies, and it's mostly about building your economy and military right. So the biggest choice for Sweden would be to get Finland. I never managed to do that, and I tried every single time, and now you could see me play this once again in or on camera live. What Sweden has is pretty much good situation running. It's it owns Norway as its satellite, and you guys know that it can form Scandinavia eventually. Finland, though, is a satellite of Russia, so that would be a bit of a pickle here. We would need to make it snatch it. And to do that, we would need to probably ally Prussia, Austria, and I guess Ottoman Empire, and somehow manage it so that we are able to defeat Russia. Or maybe, once Russia is losing, just join the war and make sure that we can snatch Finland. It's kind of fun nation to play. It has quite a low population too, but there are a number of choices. I like to snatch some small colonies as I play. Maybe Haiti and Dominican Republic, maybe parts of Africa, maybe even a colonial state or two in the Pacific, depending on how we're gonna do. It's gonna be mostly a peaceful game, but we'll see. I usually like to also protect Denmark, so you can get involved in fighting Prussia from time to time, but that's kind of complicated to not get. It's easy to get lost in that fight and lose parts of your land too, because Prussia is really dangerous. So after Sweden, I have the more suicidal nations to offer to you. Algeria. I don't actually want to play Morocco because that one is even worse than Algeria, and Algeria at least has a fighting chance because it has much more population. What is easy for Algeria is to snatch Morocco and Tunisia, but I once heard a thing, when I was reading on Victoria too. It was a funny line that I will never forget about Algeria. It is that you have the biggest military in Maghreb, and you are, the local hegemon at the start of the game. The big negative is you are one war with European nations away from losing the game. So this entire play as Algeria would be basically us trying to not get invaded by France and Spain immediately, and somehow snatching Morocco and Tunis without these two interfering. If we could get these two nations, we would jump up to over, almost 1.5 million of our culture, and that would probably allow us to do something in the future. The downside is that it's an uncivilized nation, so you get pretty much nothing. We would need to do reforms again, all the while trying to make, somehow France not destroy us. It's a fun game, but words of caution, this is really dependent on luck, because if you can't get the ball rolling, it can happen that France just invades us on day one, and that's that. So that's one thing that can happen. Another choice, though, that we could go with is Sardinia-Piedmont. I never played this nation, but I think it could be fun. It's a small local secondary power that owns part of Italy and Sardinia. The goal for this one would probably be, in my opinion, to prevent the unification of Italy. Not unify Italy, but prevent it. I don't want Italy to unify, so maybe I could try to snatch some lands from Austria and just create like a Milan, Sardinia hegemony, and just keep, Italy fractured, while somehow managing not to get eaten by the bigger nations. Or maybe if we decide to, unify Italy, we could do that too. Another nation that is kind of interesting is Persia. I really like Persia because you can do quite a lot of things with it. It has good starting stats despite being an uncivilized nation. Downsides is that I think it is programmed to get into conflict with Russia, which steamrolls you no matter what you do. So that might be a bit of an issue. But still, I think Persia is kind of a fun game to play. It's one of the more powerful uncivilized nation. It really is close to Siam in what it can do and how it can act. So it kind of can be fun. Next choice that I think would be very interesting, but that would be really scary, is to play the Ottoman Empire. It's truly, in the game, it is truly the sick man of Europe. You start with terrible literacy, at war with all the nations, Epirus and Greece. Russia is an ever-moving disaster north of you, prepared to invade you. If you can't beat them off, it's Austria who will invade you. Egypt and parts of Ottoman Empire just falling apart. You have northern separatism. You know, there's so many things that can go wrong with the Ottoman Empire. It could be fun, but it's horrifying. So if you want me to do something magnificent, this is not a good choice. If you want to see me battle all the odds, Ottoman Empire is a good choice for you. Okay. Next choice that I have found is a scary one in the fact that it's Marina. Marina is a primitive nation in the middle of nowhere that has pretty much nothing to do except survive. The good part of this is that you own the entire nation. It's very local. It has decent population and decent resources, but it's so scary to play it. It also would be probably maybe boring for some time because there isn't much to do other than just pass time. There's not many places where you can expand. We could invade Gaza Empire and Zulu, but that would immediately get us into a conflict with Portugal and British South Africa. So Marina would mostly be about us trying to somehow survive and snatch little parts of the land, maybe Geledi, maybe Margentine, I don't know. I never played it, so yeah. But you know, it's a separate nation in the middle of nowhere, quite far from where the focus of the game usually is. So I kind of think it could be fun. Next one that I have here is the Netherlands. Netherlands are an interesting choice. They start as a great power, but it's hard to remain a great power. Because like 10 years into the game, you get the Treaty of London, where Belgium declares independence, and the great powers usually support it. So you lose half of your European nation, and some of the colonies can also become really problematic. We would probably try to hold our Asia-Pacific empire and just somehow survive in Europe, because you can easily get torn between France and Prussia. There's a lot of things that can go wrong, and it's, you know, I rarely see Netherlands stay in the great power status for, you know, most of the game. The good side is, though, that it starts very well, and if we won't fuck everything up, we could become a local powerhouse in Europe, you know, maybe united with United Kingdom and France. I don't know. It would be fun colonial game, but I'd probably try to play it as peaceful as possible, just snatching little pieces of land where I like it, rather than going full on colonization, because Prussia is an ever-looming disaster, so we would need to have a strong military too. Okay, and that's probably all of them except one, which is Bajau. If you want to know what Bajau is like, just imagine Siam, but everything much harder. Bajau is a nation, a primitive nation, so much worse than Siam in the start. But there is a possibility to unite this entire territory if we invade Matam, Koatai, Brunei, you know, Zulu, and stuff like that. We could unite this entire island before Europeans come in. So it's like a second take on Siam, with much harder start, but potentially a much easier expansion. Even this entire territory could fall to us. So if we manage to keep Europeans out of these nations and play really, really strong military game in the beginning, we could probably survive. But I don't know how it would work with the culture groups, because I think all of these would be probably different cultures. Not entirely sure. So yeah, Bajau is the last choice. So yours is the vote. These are the options. You heard them all. So let me know which one you would like by voting down in the description, or not in the description, but click on the link in the description and vote on the straw poll that I have created for you. So till then, till the voting is done, you guys take care, and I'm gonna play some more Darkest Hour in the between time, because we have a campaign running there, and enjoy the campaign of CM. So till then, you guys take care.